In the mid-1970s, jazz rock was everywhere, and one of the great beauties about the scene here in the United States was the involvement of elders from the world of jazz, such as organist Larry Young, who had been turning out soul jazz recordings as early as 1962 on the Prestige label. And in the mid-70s, he formed an electrified combo called Larry Young's Fuel, and from their second of two albums, Spaceball, the track Message from Mars. Okay, basically we have a pretty simple structure, like a G minor so far, punctuated by what sounds like an ARP or a Moog. Let's see here. What are we playing? Synthesizer. Portable Moog organ, Mini-Moog synthesizer. FRM S810 Freeman string symphonizer. And also played on this album, organ, Hammond B3, Fender Rhodes electric piano, and acoustic piano. We shall see if every single one of these appear. Oh, and Julius Brockington plays Clavinet, Hohner piano, and Mini-Moog synthesizer. So we're basically a Moog is the brand of synth that is one of the mainstays of this album. I love how the drums just roll right over these bridge chords that take us into sort of this passage away from the main like monochordal figure that is like the basic framework of the track. I guess that's Larry Coryell right there, yeah, the one and only, putting his licks across this. We've also got Ray Gomez and Danny Tone on the album, but well, let's just say it's quite a distinct bit of licks that we're hearing here. Hear the way that guitar tone just kind of oozes and sizzles. And we've also got those other accents coming at that bum 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 bum. The drums are played by Jim Allington. He plays Ludwig drums, Zildgian cymbals, and percussion. Hear that high tone on the keyboard, that about an octave higher than how I was humming it, but now hear that icy keyboard tone that's kind of high in the mix. There's actually a lot of layers going on in this figure, as simplistic as it may sound. I'm hearing some wah-wah. probably hearing about 2 guitars at once, maybe 3. And the bassist here is Dave Eubanks, who's playing a Rickenbacker bass. So might explain for kind of the sort of, kind of punctual bass that you're hearing underneath it all, underneath all these layers of guitars and keyboards and all the drum rolls that are just pounding right over it. Kind of a psych tone to some of the guitar work. It's like wah-wah, kind of high end, sort of like, or I should say kind of like acidy. F sharp, G flat is an interesting place to be putting like an alternate section for a track that's primarily built in like G minor. As the guitar is just playing all these bits, just scaling up, the bassist kind of emerges every few seconds. Like he kind of goes under, kind of gets buried underneath all the other instruments, and he kind of comes back over, and you can hear sort of a run more clearly. It's like you really got to fight to be heard in this. You've really got to play. You've really got to duel it out with these others. It's almost like they've driven into a ditch right here, and they're just like struggling to get out of it here. Like they're just like, hitting that gas. That hi-hat driven, like doom 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 doom. Basically moving like half steps, like dun dun, with like fifths, half step and like fifth type figure, doom 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 doom. That's probably the main like melodic motif for the track, that that some melodies are really surfacing in this part of the track. It's interesting how some tracks in this vein, the part that you'll hear the most is this more rhythmic based figure, where it's just all about the harmonic layers built around like a simple repetition, but you'll get more chords played kind of in the bridges. They'll go through this chromatic passage where you hear some chords, some key centers that you don't hear elsewhere in the track. Yeah, I'm hearing two guitars. I'm hearing like one coming out of the speaker, one coming out of the speaker. The more busy one's coming over from over here. Now I'm hearing just one guitar, and I'm hearing the bass a bit more, like boom, 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 like that Rickenbacker bass. Yeah, that drummer just knows how to stay busy. Getting kind of bubbly here, almost like they've fallen underwater. It's just like a slight faint bit of arpeggiation. Hearing some sizzling sounds coming out. Let's see, what are they? Are they keyboards or? This is the bass that's doing the main like ostinato pattern right there, and you've got this like kind of like wah wah kind of like high end kind of acidy tone, and then you've got more of the rhythmic wah wah that. Wow, that was Message from Mars by Larry Young's Fuel, and I guess all that density and all that busyness, we were hearing Martian activity, how Martians act and communicate, supposedly. This being the year 1976 that the first land images of Mars were taken when they landed that spacecraft on there, that unmanned spacecraft, and got pictures for the first time, and it ended up that even though they didn't find any sign of life as we know it on the planet, at least not in our time, the land itself looked a lot like, I don't know, a desert, or it kind of looked like parts of it kind of looked like one of the Cannon regions of like the the Southwest. Yeah, kind of everything's like sort of orange colored. Yeah, so not the. It was the first year that we had confirmation that life on Mars, if there is any, isn't like what they had imagined in the '60s on back. With little guys with antenna ears and such. But it's always an amusing source of fiction, as brought to sonic animation through this track. From 1976, from the Larry Young album Spaceballs, his second recorded with the electrified jazz funk combo Fuel with some special guests like Larry Coryell and a whole host of others. Julius Brockington recorded an album on his own. And some great talent, and perhaps most impressive of all, aside from Larry Coryell and Larry Young, was the drumming of Jim Allington. Yeah, he just really played the heck right out of this song. For more rubies and sapphires from the catalog of Larry Young, see the directory of albums by American jazz funk artists linked in the description below. And until next time, like and subscribe and follow me on social media to know when the next video is coming out. And until then, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled tri-maximalist, signing off.